Tony Perez, you're our first rider. Come on up. We've got our judges in place. Ladies and gentlemen, put those hands together and make some noise for Tony Perez. He's going to be our first contestant in our Converting Bars Drift Limbo. Coming in. Judges says he's clear. Tony Perez going on to the next round. Brian Martin, you're up next. Brian Martin coming in. Brian coming around. Brian Martin cleared by the judges. Matthew G's up next. Matthew G coming around. Matthew G clears the bar. Coming up next will be PDK. PDK, you're up next. RJ Shrimpton, Adam Kerr. PDK coming up right now, followed by RJ. Here comes Petey. Judges say no go. Petey will be the first rider to be eliminated. RJ Shrimpton coming up next. Let's see if RJ can do it. RJ making it through. That's going to bring up our next rider, Adam Kerr. Adam Kerr, Dan Jackson, Jesse Toler. Right now we have Adam Kerr. Adam Kerr putting the bike on the ground. He is not going to make it through. That'll bring out Dan Jackson next. Dan Jackson making it through. Jesse Toler, Joey Tabalik next. Jesse Toler coming up next. Jesse Toler, Joey Tabalik, Robbie Noe, Kyle Sliger. Oh, Jesse getting fast and wide there. That'll bring out Joey T. Joey T clears it. Robbie Noe coming in. Robbie Noe clears it. Kyle Sliger. Kyle Sliger, our final rider for round one. Kyle Sliger making it through. Judges are ready. Hey, Tony Perez, start us out. Tony Perez, your first one in. Brian Martin, Matthew G, RJ Shrimpton, Dan Jackson. And Tony Perez does not make it through. Brian Martin, all he has to do is make it, and Tony Perez will be eliminated. Brian Martin coming in. Brian Martin clearing it, and he knocks out Tony Perez. Matthew G's up next, followed by RJ Shrimpton, Dan Jackson. Matthew G makes it under. That's going to bring in RJ Shrimpton. RJ coming in a little bit slow, but there was a method to that madness, and he makes it. Dan Jackson coming up next. Jesse Toler, Joey Tabalik. And Dan Jackson hitting the line. Dan taking himself out. And coming up next will be Jesse Toler, Joey T, and Robbie Noe. Jesse coming in fast. Jesse Toler clearing him with flying colors. Joey Tabalik coming in next. Joey Tabalik making it through. A little bit sketchy there, but he held on to her. That brings in Robbie Noe. Robbie coming around. Robbie clearing it. That'll bring up Kyle Sliger, our final rider for round two. And the judges clear Kyle Sliger. Got to reset, so that's going to leave. Judges are good to go, so we're going to go in this order. Brian Martin, Matthew G, RJ Shrimpton, Jesse Toler, Joey Tabalik, Robbie Noe, and Kyle Sliger. So Brian Martin, you're up first. Matthew G, you're on deck, followed by RJ Shrimpton. Here comes Brian. Hazard, put those hands together. Help him out here. And we are clear with Brian Martin. We are all systems go with this height. If you don't make it, you're eliminated. Brian Martin literally setting the bar right now. for our converti bars tripling. Matthew Glasscock, he just broke our little limbo pole, I guess. All right, Bill Dixon says we are ready to go, so we're coming back live. Brian Martin's already made it to this height, so here comes RJ Shrimpton, followed by Jesse Toler. Oh, and RJ just barely not making it through. So close, and he loses the bike after it. And that's going to bring up our next athlete, Jesse Toler, Joey Tabalik, Robbie Noe, and Kyle Sliger. Jesse Toler coming in hot. Getting in there. Jesse Toler clearing it. Here comes Joey Tabalik. And Joey Tabalik taking himself out before he can even get in. Robbie Noe coming in. I get 2 thumbs up from the judges. Robbie Noe going to the next round. Here comes Kyle Sliger. Kyle Sliger coming in. Kyle Sliger making it under. Our judges are going to drop it down. That leaves us with Brian Martin, Jesse Toler, Robbie Noe, and Kyle Sliger. We are down to our final. Set the bar again. I get 2 thumbs up from the judges for Brian Martin. So we're going live, folks. Jesse Toler coming in. Can he make it? Jesse Toler, oh, dragging the foot. Jesse Toler will not be advancing to the next round. He is gone. Robbie Noe coming in. A thumbs down from my judges. Only one man stands behind Brian Martin in the win, and it's Kyle Sliger. Hazard, put your hands together. Oh.
Hold on, we need all of our riders back up here. Jesse Toler.
Bill Dixon is taking up the limbo bar 1 inch. We are going up 1 inch right now for Robbie Noe and Jesse Toler. We got to find a 3rd place, and we're going to have our Kyle Sliger versus Brian Martin shootout coming up here in just 1 second. But first, we got to find out that 3rd place finisher. And don't forget, we're going to reuse this setup here in just a couple of seconds. But here comes Robbie Noe. Hazard, put those hands together for 3rd place. Robbie Noe will not make it cleanly through. Here comes Jesse Toler. Robbie, don't go anywhere. Jesse, let's see if you can take that 3rd. Sliger and Brian Martin one more time. We're going to let Bill Dixon and Jurassic Dan put the bar at the right spot. I get the thumbs up from the judges. That means we are ready to go. Brian Martin, come on out. Hazard, put your hands together, make some noise. Brian Martin, our converting bar, tripling down. Brian Martin makes it. Oh, just barely sliding underneath. Kyle Sliger, it's up to you. Kyle Sliger's perfect streak today in jeopardy. Brian Martin coming out of nowhere. Here it is. Come on, I got 1 of each.
I'm watching the stands, I'm watching your head.
Bill Dixon says he does not make it through. So that means our winner is going to be Brian Martin, followed by Kyle Sliger. Kyle Sliger, Brian Martin, both of you guys come up here.